right? Which is discrimination.
Yeah, we're at Smoothie King, and they're discriminating and saying we cannot get service because Jake has a Trump service on.
Okay, well,
So
you said you were going to leave, so please just have a great day and leave so we can continue what we're doing. Like, thank
we
you.
were just wanting a smoothie, and you literally looked at us, and I asked you if everything was okay. You said we don't feel comfortable serving you because of my husband's hoodie. That is discrimination.
Okay, well, have a great day. Like,
That is illegal.
that's illegal.
I said Trump discriminates us.
That has nothing to do with us wanting a smoothie.
Okay, but that's what you support. That's what you love. Though.
You don't,
So
but
have a
you
great day.
you don't own this. You don't own Smoothie King.
You're gonna no longer have your job.
Literally. Like, I'm confused. Is this a joke?
Good luck maintaining your employment.
I don't care. Like, have a great day.
When your company is charged, yeah, you will.
So literally, Jake's wearing his hoodie. They would not serve us because Jake's wearing a Trump hoodie. Talking about discrimination?
That's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. No, what's embarrassing is that we're American citizens and I wanted to get a smoothie.
Because my manager was here, she said the same thing to you. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying to you, okay?
But then,
That's-
hey, you know that's a crime, right?
It's not
Discrimination
though. We
is a
have
crime.
the right to refuse service here, and that's what we
Not
did.
due to political views, though. Not due to
You
political
asked her what
views.
was wrong, and she said that she was
okay,
uncomfortable,
it's a
right or
crime.
wrong. You asked the question, she answered. Have a great day. Have a great day. The door is right there. Have a great day.
How embarrassing.
Have a great day. Call the police. Okay?
Wow.
Discrimination.
Yeah, I am going to call the police.
That's a
Hey, what's up, guys? So that was the clip that went viral the other day in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where you had two Smoothie King employees refusing service to two Trump supporters. And as you could see in that video, the two MAGA supporters were pretty cordial. They didn't really get upset when they were refused service. They simply asked why they were being discriminated against. And in my opinion, they were pretty good about it. Yet I find it so funny that the same people who preach inclusivity, acceptance, and tolerance are probably the most racist and hateful. And there's a good possibility that those two employees had a meltdown because they saw two white customers. And what's even more amazing is that imagine if the roles were reversed. A white employee refusing service to a black customer wearing a BLM shirt. Imagine the national outrage this story would cause and the headlines the fake news media would come up with. Yet, for this story, you won't hear anything from the CNNs or the MSNBCs of the world. At best, maybe a local news station might cover it. Okay, so anyways, Smoothie King finally responded to the MAGA backlash, and this is what they posted on their social media account. As a brand, Smoothie King is committed to ensuring our stores are a place free of discrimination of any kind, where every guest and team member is treated with care and respect. Following an investigation into an incident involving a guest who was refused service at a franchise location in Michigan yesterday, the franchise owner has taken immediate action, and the two employees involved are no longer with the business. Both the franchise owner and Smoothie King corporate have reached out to the guests several times to apologize and will continue to follow up. The local owner is also taking further action and enforcing mandatory retraining for all employees that outlines our guest experience standards. Okay, so that was a response from Smoothie King, and they had to respond to the backlash coming from MAGA. Like, the backlash was so intense yesterday, it was actually trending on every social media platform. That said, I think the company was right to, make an example out of these two employees because you can't just have employees out there discriminating against, half the country. You can't have employees discriminate based off political affiliation. Although political affiliation is not a protected class like race, sex, or gender in the state of Michigan, you can't just have them, basically tell half the country to F off, especially if you're running a business, because that's no way to run a business. You need to accept customers. That's why I hate all these companies that get into all this political stuff. Okay, so the woman at the center of this shitstorm, her name is Janiyah Williams. She's the Smoothie King employee that was fired, and she was the one that was doing all the recordings and posting those TikTok videos. And now she started moving to the financial grift. She started accepting Cash Apps and Venmos. And then more recently, yesterday, she was doing the GoFundMe page where she was seeking support for safety after online harassment. She was looking for $700 because MAGA was coming after her after she was discriminating MAGA customers, and then she was just playing victim. Anyways, she did raise up to $400 before GoFundMe decided to cancel and take down her page because they felt it was based off the premise of discrimination, based off her discriminating ways. So they canceled her page. Okay, so she's since made another video on TikTok trying to respond to all the backlash and trying to clarify her position about what really happened, even though there's irrefutable video evidence, showing exactly what she did.
Hi with. It's Janai Michelle. I'm just gonna explain what happened yesterday at Smoothie King Ann Arbor. So basically, it was really busy the whole day. It was just me and my other coworker. And basically, this couple comes in the midst of it being like super busy, so we cannot attend to them right away. We're just like, hello, we'll be with you in a moment. And they're just giving us really weird looks. And so, like, we're kind of looking at them back, like, what's going on? And that's when we realized they're wearing Trump merch. And that's when my coworker says to me, like, that, like, this is making me uncomfortable. Like, this is weird. Like, because mind you, it was really the day right after Black History Month. And that's when Torta asked us if there was an issue, and that's when my coworker said, like, yeah, we're uncomfortable because of your sweater, of your husband's sweater. And she was taking an order on the headset for the drive-through, and then so that's why I was doing most of the talking, because she was attending to the customers. So that's what, like, yeah, like, we are uncomfortable.
You know what a lot of other fast food employees are uncomfortable about? Imagine them discriminating you based off of this.
And then that's when he immediately gets loud. As you can see, guys, in my video, we're just saying, like, yeah, like, we're uncomfortable, blah, 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 blah. And then he immediately gets loud, like, discrimination, you're discriminating against us. And that's when we start to get loud, because, like, this grown man is getting loud at us. And, he's probably so angry because he is an ex-meth head, okay? And yeah, like, I told them, like, as you guys can see in my video, I said, we have the right to refuse service, have a good day. They did not want to listen to that. Like, have a good day, SpongeBob Big Guy Pants, okay? Like, I'm not really sure what else to tell you guys, so that's why I kept repeating, have a good day, thank you. And then they started, like, asking us for our names, like, saying that they were going to call the police on us. And it's just like, baby, you said you were going to leave, so what are you still doing here? The door, okay? Okay, and now everybody's attacking me online, all the goys.
Okay, so that couple was not loud at all. Like, you keep talking about them being loud, that they said that you discriminated them. Well, yeah, 100% right. Like, they are correct that you did discriminate them. And you're very well within your right to discriminate them based off of political affiliation, because that's not a protected class. But that didn't come without any consequences, because you did end up losing your job at Smoothie King. And honestly, if I'm going to keep it a buck, I think your other employer there at McDonald's should really reconsider your employment there. Because the fact that you are this uncomfortable around conservatives or anyone that just thinks differently or has different beliefs than you, that's really alarming. The fact that you're actually handling food, I would be very wary stepping into McDonald's knowing that you work there. And finally, we got another individual caught up in this Smoothie King shitstorm. And this time, it's not an employee, but rather a store owner. So there was a tweet here yesterday that I remember seeing, and someone wrote basically in reference to the refused service to the MAGA couple. And someone tweeted, I own a Smoothie King as well. I wouldn't have served them either. Bye bye. So, yeah, that is the guy who actually owns one of the franchises in Maryland. And, people started digging, and they actually found a tweet from 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, where he tweeted, today my store officially opens. Emotional and happy as F, man. God is so good. For you as a store owner, this is completely different from an employee. You're a store owner, and you're, actually shitting on half the country, basically, half the client base. This is crazy because this is a huge reputational damage to this company. And this guy has already privated all his social media accounts, as you can see here. And someone tweeted this out to Smoothie King. Please look into this franchise in Forestville, Maryland. The owner apparently said he wouldn't serve Trump supporters. This is starting to look like a trend in your company. Looks like a horrible location to go to. I would pull this franchise. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure, but I think this franchisee could have possibly violated a contractual obligation with Smoothie King because he's basically damaging the brand reputation by crapping on half the customer base. Like, this might be literally the dumbest thing for him to do. Anyways, the name of this fella who tweeted this out, the franchisee store owner, his name is Travis LaFleur, and this is a picture of him. People found his, I assume, LinkedIn, and this is him here, right here. So he's a Smoothie King franchisee owner, and it's been 2 years. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a call from head office corporate, and he's gonna have a lot of explaining to do. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.